It started in the most ordinary place imaginable, which is probably why it took me so long to admit something was wrong. I was sitting at a small cafe near my apartment, the kind with metal chairs that always feel slightly cold no matter how long you sit in them. It was late afternoon. The light outside had that dull, washed-out color that comes before evening, when everything looks flattened and quiet. I remember holding my cup with both hands, not because it was too hot, but because I didn't know what else to do with them. There was nothing unusual happening around me. 2 students were whispering over a laptop. Someone was scrolling loudly on their phone. A motorbike passed outside with that familiar sputtering sound. The air smelled faintly of burnt coffee beans. And yet, inside my body, something felt wrong in a way I couldn't name. It wasn't panic. It wasn't sadness. It was closer to a thin, constant tension, like a wire stretched too tightly but not yet snapping. My chest felt shallow, not tight, just restricted, like my breathing had forgotten how to go all the way down. I tried to take a deep breath, but it stopped halfway, as if something invisible blocked it. I remember thinking very calmly at first, this is strange. Then another thought came immediately after, you're just noticing more than other people do. That thought was comforting in a quiet, familiar way. It felt like putting a label on something that didn't make sense. It gave the sensation a place to sit. I stayed there for a long time, not moving much. My eyes kept drifting to the same crack on the table's surface. A thin line in the wood that looked like it had been there for years. My heart wasn't racing, but it wasn't steady either. It felt irregular, like it couldn't find a rhythm it trusted. Every few seconds I became intensely aware of it. Thump, pause, thump. Then I would check my breathing again. Then I would check whether my shoulders were tense. Then I would check whether my jaw was tight. Each time I checked, something felt slightly wrong. And each time I noticed something wrong, another thought appeared, almost automatically. This is awareness. You're just more conscious than most people. At the time, that thought didn't feel defensive. It felt factual, like stating the weather. Still, the discomfort didn't leave. It hovered. Even when I tried to distract myself by scrolling through my phone, the tension stayed underneath everything, like a quiet hum. I wasn't focused on what I was reading. I was focused on the fact that I wasn't focused. I noticed the way my fingers felt slightly stiff on the screen. I noticed the dryness in my throat. I noticed the way my stomach felt hollow, but not hungry. And the more I noticed, the less stable everything felt. I remember shifting in my chair, trying to find a position that felt normal. There wasn't one. At some point, I realized I'd been sitting there for almost 40 minutes without finishing my coffee. It had gone cold, but I hadn't noticed when that happened. I picked it up and took a sip anyway. It tasted flat and bitter, but I couldn't tell whether it always tasted like that or if I was only noticing it now. That question stayed with me longer than it should have. Am I noticing more, or am I breaking something by noticing this much? I didn't answer it. I just sat there, feeling that thin tension in my chest, watching my breath, watching my thoughts, watching the act of watching itself. And beneath all of it was a quiet, persistent unease that never fully formed into a clear fear. It just stayed, waiting. Even after I left the cafe and walked home, it followed me. The sound of my footsteps felt too loud. The rhythm of my breathing felt slightly off. The movement of people around me felt strangely distant, as if I were watching everything through a thin layer of glass. I kept telling myself, you're just aware, that's all. But the more I repeated it, the less convincing it sounded. The belief didn't appear all at once. It built itself slowly, over years, through small moments that felt meaningful at the time. I used to think self-awareness was a kind of protection. It started in my early 20s, during a period when everything in my life felt unstable. I remember lying awake at night, replaying conversations, analyzing my reactions, trying to understand why certain words hurt more than others. Back then, noticing my thoughts felt like gaining control over them. When I could step back and observe a feeling instead of drowning in it, I felt proud. It felt like progress, like maturity. People reinforced it too, often without realizing. Friends would say things like, "You're so self-aware," in that tone that carried admiration. Therapists would nod approvingly when I described how I tracked my emotional patterns. Even books I read use similar language. Awareness as clarity, awareness as freedom. The message was always consistent. The more you notice, the more stable you become. So I practiced noticing constantly. I paid attention to every shift in my mood, every subtle tension in my body, every fleeting thought that crossed my mind. If I felt anxious, I would sit with it and dissect it. If I felt calm, I would observe that too, try to understand what created it. Over time, this became automatic. I wasn't just living experiences anymore. I was monitoring them while they happened. At first, this monitoring felt empowering. During stressful situations, I would remind myself, you're aware. You can watch this without being overwhelmed. When conflict happened, I would step back internally and analyze both my reaction and the other person's behavior. I felt calmer than others, more controlled. People often describe me as grounded. I believed that meant I was doing something right. Even physically, I developed a habit of constant internal scanning. I would check my breathing, my posture, my muscle tension. I could detect the smallest shifts, like the slight tightening in my stomach before a difficult conversation, or the shallow change in my breath when someone's tone changed. I told myself this sensitivity was strength. It meant I could catch problems early. It meant I wouldn't be blindsided by emotions. It meant I was less reactive than others. And in many ways, this seemed true. I rarely had emotional outbursts. I rarely said things impulsively. I rarely felt completely out of control. Instead, I existed in a steady state of quiet observation. Even when anxiety appeared, I treated it as something to watch rather than something to feel fully. I would mentally label sensations: tightness in chest, shallow breath, racing thoughts. Labeling gave me a sense of distance. Distance felt like safety. Over time, this became my identity. I wasn't just someone who practiced awareness. I was someone who believed awareness made me fundamentally different from people who seemed overwhelmed by their emotions. When friends spiraled into worry, I would silently think, they're just not aware enough. When someone reacted impulsively, I would think, if they could just observe themselves, they wouldn't suffer like this. This belief settled quietly into the background of my life. I didn't question it because it seemed to work. Or at least, it seemed to prevent certain kinds of chaos. Even in quiet moments, like sitting alone at home, I would check in with myself repeatedly. How does my body feel right now? What thoughts are present? Is there tension somewhere I haven't noticed yet? Each check felt like maintenance, like keeping a machine running smoothly. I didn't realize that I had stopped experiencing moments without simultaneously monitoring them. The belief felt necessary. Without awareness, I thought I would lose control. Without awareness, I thought I would fall back into confusion and emotional overwhelm. So I held on to it tightly, even as the constant monitoring began to feel heavier in ways I couldn't yet articulate. The first cracks didn't look like cracks at all. They looked like increased diligence. I remember noticing that my body felt tense more often than before. Not dramatically tense, just slightly off, like a background hum that never fully turned off. Instead of questioning why the tension was there, I responded the way I always had. I paid more attention. I started checking in with myself more frequently throughout the day. While walking, while working, even while talking to someone, a part of my mind would quietly monitor my internal state. At first, this felt responsible. Then it began to feel exhausting. There were moments when I realized I hadn't actually heard what someone just said because I was busy noticing the way my chest felt during the conversation. I told myself this was temporary, just a phase of heightened awareness. But something else started happening too. The more I noticed my physical sensations, the more unstable they seemed. If I felt a slight change in my heartbeat, I would focus on it. Then my heartbeat would become more irregular. If I noticed my breathing, it would suddenly feel unnatural, like I had forgotten how to breathe automatically. I remember one evening sitting with a friend at dinner. They were telling a story about work, something mildly frustrating but not serious. I was nodding, listening, or at least I thought I was. Then I became aware of a tightness in my throat. Immediately, my attention shifted inward. Why is my throat tight? Am I anxious? What am I anxious about? I started analyzing my posture, my breathing, the expression on my face. My friend was still talking, but their words became background noise. At some point, they stopped and asked quietly, "Are you okay?" I snapped back to the moment, startled. "Yeah," I said quickly. "I'm fine. Just thinking." They nodded, but their expression looked uncertain. The conversation never fully recovered after that. I went home that night feeling unsettled, though I couldn't pinpoint why. Instead of questioning my habits, I doubled down on them. I told myself I just needed to understand what was happening more clearly. So I read more about anxiety. I practiced more observation exercises. I spent longer periods sitting quietly, scanning my body and thoughts. But the more I did this, the less stable everything felt. The discomfort that used to appear occasionally began showing up almost daily. Sometimes it was a subtle restlessness in my chest. Sometimes it was a sense of disconnection from my surroundings, like everything was slightly unreal. And each time it appeared, my response was always the same. Observe it, label it, stay aware of it. But this approach no longer brought relief. It only seemed to intensify whatever I was observing. I began to notice something unsettling. The act of paying attention itself seemed to amplify the discomfort. This realization frightened me, but I didn't allow myself to sit with that fear for long. Instead, I told myself I just wasn't doing it correctly. I needed to observe more neutrally, more skillfully, with less judgment. So I tried harder. The cracks widened quietly. I started avoiding situations where I couldn't easily monitor myself. Busy gatherings, spontaneous plans, loud environments. They felt overwhelming not because of the noise, but because I couldn't track my internal state clearly in those settings. I preferred quiet spaces where I could keep observing. But even in those spaces, the anxiety remained. It hovered, persistent and unexplained. And slowly, a new discomfort emerged beneath everything. A faint suspicion that something about the way I was living, this constant internal surveillance, might itself be part of the problem. I pushed that thought away every time it appeared. Because if awareness was a problem, I didn't know who I would be without it. The shift didn't happen in a single moment. It happened gradually, through small, ordinary experiences that I began to see differently. One evening, I was walking home after work, following the same route I had taken hundreds of times before. The streetlights had just turned on, casting that soft yellow glow on the pavement. I noticed my breathing automatically, as usual, but instead of analyzing it immediately, I hesitated, just for a few seconds. During that hesitation, something strange happened. The tension didn't increase. It stayed the same. That small observation unsettled me more than any anxiety had, because it suggested something I had never seriously considered before, that my constant monitoring might not be helping at all. Over the next weeks, similar moments appeared. I would start to analyze sensation, then pause midway. In that pause, I felt a subtle resistance, an urge to resume monitoring, to regain the familiar sense of control. Sometimes I gave in to the urge. Sometimes I didn't. When I didn't, I felt exposed, uncertain, almost careless, as if I were neglecting an important responsibility. But nothing catastrophic happened. The world didn't collapse. My emotions didn't spiral out of control. They simply moved on their own in ways I couldn't predict or manage. This realization didn't feel liberating. It felt destabilizing. Because if I wasn't constantly observing myself, I didn't know how to relate to my experience anymore. The identity I had built around awareness began to loosen quietly, not dramatically, not with clarity, just in small, disorienting ways. I noticed how often I had been living inside my head instead of inside my life, how conversations had become opportunities for internal monitoring rather than genuine connection, how even moments of rest had been filled with subtle vigilance. And yet, I couldn't simply stop. The habit of watching myself was deeply ingrained. Even when I tried to relax, a part of my mind would immediately check whether I was truly relaxed. It was like trying to sleep while constantly asking yourself if you were asleep yet. Gradually, I stopped trying to fix the situation, not because I understood it, but because I felt too tired to keep analyzing it. I began allowing long stretches of time where I didn't deliberately monitor my internal state. During those times, anxiety didn't disappear. It still appeared, sometimes unexpectedly. But it felt different, less amplified, less tangled with endless interpretation. The collapse wasn't dramatic. There was no breakthrough insight, no clear moment of resolution, just a quiet, ongoing loosening of certainty. And with that loosening came a strange, uncomfortable space. A space where I no longer knew whether awareness was helpful or harmful. A space where I didn't have a clear method to rely on. A space where I had to sit with not knowing. Now, my life looks mostly ordinary again. I still go to cafes. I still walk the same streets. I still sit at tables with friends and listen to their stories. Externally, very little has changed. But internally, everything feels less defined. There are moments when I notice myself slipping back into old habits, checking my breath repeatedly, analyzing subtle sensations, monitor my thoughts for signs of instability. When that happens, I feel the familiar urge to regain control through awareness. Sometimes I follow the urge. Sometimes I don't. There isn't a clear rule anymore, and that uncertainty still makes me uneasy. There are days when I sit quietly at home, feeling a vague restlessness in my chest, and I can't tell whether to observe it, ignore it, or simply let it exist without doing anything at all. I don't know which approach is right. I don't know if there is a right approach. Occasionally, I miss the old certainty, the belief that awareness was always the answer, that more attention would always lead to more stability. That belief was heavy, but it was also reassuring. It gave me a clear direction. Now, there are moments when I feel suspended between two impulses. One part of me still wants to monitor everything, to stay vigilant, to keep watching for signs of discomfort. Another part of me feels exhausted by that constant surveillance. So I live somewhere in between. Sometimes I notice my breath deeply and let it fade into background again. Sometimes I catch myself analyzing a sensation and stop halfway, not because I know it's better to stop, but because I no longer feel certain that continuing will help. Life continues in ordinary ways. The sound of coffee cups clinking in cafes, the quiet hum of traffic at night, the subtle warmth of sunlight on my hands during a walk. These moments don't feel clearer than before. They just feel less filtered, less constantly examined. And yet, uncertainty remains. There are still days when anxiety rises suddenly without explanation. Days when I wonder if I should return to the old discipline of constant awareness. Days when the urge for certainty feels almost unbearable. I haven't resolved that tension. I don't know if I ever will. I only know that now, when discomfort appears, I don't automatically assume that noticing it more closely will make it disappear. Sometimes I just sit with it, not watching it too carefully, not pushing it away either. Just sitting, unsure, waiting, and letting the experience move in its own way without needing to fully understand it.